Oh, I got a great story about Gethyn.
Go for it.
Okay, so it's from the driveway. The furthest hockey pitch that you can see, which is opposite Charlton. At that time, I did have relatively long hair. I think this was when I was in the early fifth form, something. I was pretty good at hockey, as I mentioned. And I could hear this booming voice. I had a red bandana around my head because I think it was cool. Because I was listening to Dire Straits at the time, so a good idea. Well, not Dire Straits, it was someone else back in those days. This booming voice came across. If that boy's wearing something around his head, his hair's too bloody long. Get it cut. And that was it. It's like, that's me. Oh dear. I mean, how small can you shrink until such time? But when that booming voice came across, it's like, yes, you answer, but that's it. Okay, brilliant. So,
what was Jock like as a headmaster?
He kept himself to himself, really. He let things rumble along, if I could use that expression, in exactly the same way as a school like that should. He didn't put too much pressure. He lent on the teachers or the faculty members, to allow a certain amount of rumbustuousness, should I say, because this is what creates great character. And without that, the great characters that have come from All Hallows over the years and schools like it would if you're too hemmed in, it just doesn't work. So in one of the punishments that I received is I'd been particularly bad. I won't mention his name, but I did get my comeback for this one. I'd done something incorrect in the fourth form and called someone a name that perhaps I shouldn't have known the word itself, actually. Anyway, so my gig was to clean the chapel quad with a toothbrush. Take all the moss out with a toothbrush. Hands and knees, and there you go. Anyway, many years later, I was working in a pub called the Anchor in Purford, which on Purford Lock on the Way Navigational Canal. I was working there, and this bloke walked in, and I recognised him. And I was sort of 18 or something at the time. This is just prior before I got involved in all my work at Pinewood Studios with Derek Meddings and the Star Wars stuff and the Superman stuff that I worked on. He walked in, and I had the greatest pleasure to say, "I recognise you, mister. And I'm sorry, I'm not serving you. Why is that?" And I recanted the tale. And the lady who was with him just grabbed him by the shoulder and said, "We're out of here." So, yes, I got one back. But, punishments were certainly befitted the reason that you received said punishment. If you'd done something really silly, then you're going to get whacked. Now, whether it's, when I was at prep school, the guy had two options. It was either a size 10 gym shoe on your hand, chonk, or one of those metal rulers, brumph, which, as a 9-10-year-old, because I went to boarding school from the age of 9 onwards. So from 9 to 13, I was at Norwood School in Exeter, and then from 13 to 18, I was at All Hallows. So I didn't really get to know my parents, and strangely and oddly, sadly, my dad died when I was 24, my mum died when I was 28. So I didn't really get to know them because I'd been away at school for that length of time. However, I would say that the becottledness of living with one's parents didn't occur because you had the toughness to accept what's being given and get on with it. Now, that not only means the rough and tumble of being at public school, which other countries just won't understand, but also you had to realise that if you've done something, there's going to be a result of this. You're not going to get away with it, however clever you might think you are. Namely, back to my story about the cassette tapes. We were going to get nicked eventually. It just happened slightly sooner than we thought. But without that capability of understanding, of being a real person, and creating your own path, which you have in that place. If you wanted to go out and explore, you could. If you wanted to sit down and study, you could. If you wanted to really get going in sailing or shooting, you had all these options. And it was just an incredible experience that it's never going to happen again.